There's an abandoned town deep in the woods of Ohio. No trespassing signs, closed roads, and a whole lot of don't ask any questions. Some say it's infested with mutants, others say it's the government hiding a chemical disaster. There's a lot of talk of ghosts, Satanists, and today we're going to do a deep dive into one of the most infamous locations in the Midwest. Welcome to Ohio. I'm just kidding. But yeah, Ohio. Helltown, Ohio to be exact. Population, something isn't right here. And welcome back to the channel, guys. I've got some interesting stories here to tell you from a infamous location in Ohio. And I really like government conspiracies, and urban legends, but it's not often that the two mix together like this. When I learned about Helltown, I was super intrigued by the mystery behind it all. What the heck the government was doing? What are all these stories? It reminds me a lot of the Skinwalker Ranch here in Utah, where just a whole bunch of these seemingly unrelated paranormal, weird, supernatural things happen, all centered and clustered into this one location. And there's just so much to dig through, so I was really excited to make this one for you guys. But yeah, be sure to like and subscribe. I'd love to hear your feedback, and I'd love to, if you have other stories, urban legends, anything mysterious throughout history or folklore, I'd love to look into it more. So be sure to let me know down in the comments, and I'll be happy to look into that. Anyway, let's begin. So there's a place in Ohio where abandoned buildings rot in the woods. Roads lead to nowhere. Satanic symbols stain church walls, and ghosts seem to appear from nowhere. Welcome to Helltown. Now, Helltown is just the nickname for this small little location known as the Boston Township, formerly the Boston Village. And no, there's no official tourism brochure about this, but if you are into government conspiracies, haunted churches, dead-end roads, and the busloads of ghost children, well, this is the place for you. Our story starts in the 1800s when the village was first founded. People moved in. It was just this small little rustic town. It was no different than any other town in the woods in the area. But then the 1970s rolls around. The U.S. government, completely out of nowhere, decided to buy up every single property in the village and evacuate everyone. The official reason, they say, is to create a national park. But then all the buildings were just left there. There's no demolition. They didn't clean anything up. The buildings were just left there empty, windows boarded up. The locals weren't allowed back in, no trespassing signs went up, and park rangers patrolled the place 24/7. So naturally, people had questions. What happened? Was there a chemical spill, secret experiments, or were they trying to keep people out? Or were they trying to keep something in? There are numerous different legends that have popped up since that happened. So I'll start with the first one here. There is supposedly a haunted cemetery called the Boston Cemetery. People claim to see ghostly figures lurking around the gravestones, most famously a man in black who just stands there. Sometimes he has red eyes, sometimes he vanishes when you blink. Either way, it's not ideal company for a midnight stroll. I see a lot of parallels to just classic shadow people. The Hat Man, of course, that seems to be something that pops up a lot in these stories that I read. Even creepier, there are stories of people hearing screams from below the ground. Like the dead aren't quite done yelling yet. And the next legend is a house in the woods. It's just a house that's buried deep in the woods in the area. Legend says if you walk past this house at night, one single light will turn on. But no one is inside. The doors are locked. It is completely sealed away. But it's as if the light watches you, as if someone is there looking at you. Another interesting legend is the abandoned school bus. This one's pretty iconic. There is a bus sitting out in the woods, rotting under the trees. Local legend says it was full of children that was killed by a madman or cult members. And some say if you look closely into the windows, you can still see the kids staring back at you. More likely, they're just full of squatters staring at you, but I don't know. Either one's kind of weird. The area is also well known for supposed satanic cult activity. There's numerous churches around there, and the windows are boarded up. And some say that the framing of the windows look like inverted crosses. And visitors have reported strange chanting from inside, even though it's been locked down for years. There are rumors of satanic rituals happening in the basements, animal bones, occult symbols, the works. Park rangers have denied it all. There are numerous haunted and cursed vehicles that are said to roam around the area. Some say a black hearse will follow your car if you drive too slow through the area. It always keeps its distance, never gets closer. Even stranger, there's a story of a phantom AAA tow truck. Supposedly, it appears to stranded drivers at night. No lights, no driver, and then it just simply vanishes after guiding them to safety, of course. So, I guess even the dead in Ohio offer roadside assistance, so. Some say the government didn't just clear out of Boston just to build a park. They did it to seal something dangerous. One theory says a chemical spill mutated the local wildlife and residents in the area. Another claim says the town sits over a gateway to hell itself. There's even a stretch of road nicknamed the Highway to Hell. Warning signs that vanish during the day and reappear at night. So, no, it seems like driving on those roads there will get you chased down by a hearse, or you may even just end up in hell. Who knows? It's something, I don't know, if I can go down there, I'd check it out. There's some more legends here about an abandoned slaughterhouse, said to echo with animal screams, even though it's been empty for decades. There's an old funeral home nearby. Supposedly people have seen bodies moving behind the windows. Then there are fields, rows of corn stretching into fog. And locals tell tales of pale, barefoot children who watch travelers from the edges of the crops but never come out. That's some Children of the Corn kind of stuff, man. Dude, I saw that, I would be so... I need to change my pants. Honestly, that's probably the freakiest thing. If I'm just driving through a cornfield and I see just pale, creepy-looking children just poking their heads out, dude, I'm out. I'm out of there. Ooh, gives me chills. And then we have classic animal mutilations often associated with UFOs. Most say that these animals that are mutilated in the area were just coyotes, but they are more than just the attack of a predator. The mutilations are very precise, very deliberate. Some say that they're sacrifices by the cults that are supposedly all around the area. There are finally other stories, figures in the trees, tall, thin silhouettes that vanish the second you shine lights on them. There's some of these theories do have kind of some explanations. So the rumors of mutants, they're probably tied to the Crackle chemical plant that had a nasty reputation for dumping waste in the 1960s. The satanic cult stuff, most likely just satanic panic, just general edgy teens sneaking into the church buildings doing just edgy teen stuff. And the school bus, there was an actual school bus that was in the woods. But the stories of murder or satanic cult members killing children there, that's not been backed up by any evidence that I could find. However, a family did live in that bus temporarily after being displaced. They weren't murdered, they were just broke. Is Helltown just a bunch of myths layered on normal decay? I mean, maybe. But here's the weird thing. Why is the area still so heavily patrolled? Why are the roads still blocked off to this day? Why were the feds so quick to evacuate the area and not let anyone come back in? And just some food for thought. But yeah, definitely one of the more unique haunted locations in the US. Perfect storm of government conspiracy, folklore, and potential real-world tragedy. And either way, the legends just won't die. Whether it's cursed roads, screaming ghosts, or Satanists doing weird rituals under the national park jurisdiction, Helltown has definitely earned its nickname. Well, anyway, that is it. Thank you guys for watching. And again, like, subscribe if you liked what you saw. And leave your comments below what you think of all this. If you've been to Helltown, let me know any creepy stories that you've had about it. I'd love to hear real-world accounts from real people on that. And before I close things up, I want to, again, just plug my novel series real quick. The Mortal Towers recently just released its sequel, The Kingdom of the Mountains. Here's a picture of it. So if you're into fantasy stories like Lord of the Rings, Aragon, Chronicles of Narnia, or even video games like The Elder Scrolls, Fable, things like that, or even Star Wars, be sure to check it out. I'm sure it will be right up your alley. But anyway, you guys have a good day, and as always, stay spooky, friends.